Okay, so let's talk about something we all do, every single day, without even thinking about it. You know, like how you immediately reach for your phone when you wake up, or that knee-jerk reaction you have when someone cuts you off in traffic. Well, those are your habits, and they are, without a doubt, the invisible forces quietly running your life.
And get this, it's kind of wild. Studies show that a whopping 40% of our daily actions aren't actually conscious choices. Nope, they're habits. That means for nearly half of your day, you're on autopilot. Just think about that for a second. Half your day, for better or for worse, is being run by a script you're not even aware of.
So, this all boils down to one really important question, doesn't it? Are your habits like heavy chains, binding you, holding you back from who you really want to be? Or are they like wings, lifting you up, helping you soar? Because how you answer that, well, that can pretty much define your entire life. To figure that out, we have to understand what a habit really is. I like to think of them as these invisible architects, you know? They're building our daily reality brick by brick. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how they're made. So let's think about this in a new way. A habit isn't just something you do, it's energy. It's a current of energy that you direct over and over in the same direction. And you do it so many times that you eventually carve a channel in your own consciousness, and that energy just starts to flow automatically, without any effort. Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine your mind is like an open field. Every time you have a thought or you do something, you're walking a path across that field. Well, if you walk that same path enough times, what happens? It turns into a deep groove, right? A well-worn road that your energy just naturally wants to follow. It's the path of least resistance. But here's the catch. This incredible energy-saving mechanism, it can also work against us. Those same grooves can turn into deep ruts, trapping us in these cycles that we desperately want to get out of. We literally end up forging our own chains, one thought and one action at a time. You know, there's this wonderful story that just captures this whole idea perfectly. A man, totally frustrated with himself, goes to a wise saint. And he asks a question that I think, if we're honest, we've all asked in some way. Why do I keep falling back into this pattern of anger, even when I know better?
And the saint's answer is just brilliant. It wasn't about willpower or being a bad person, it was about geography. He basically said, look, the reason you keep getting angry is because the road of anger in your mind is a superhighway. You've traveled it so many times. If you want to change, you have to start blazing a new trail, the path of patience. And you just walk it step by step until that path becomes the new main road.
Okay, so if we find ourselves stuck on the wrong road, how do we actually start building a new one? How do we build those wings? Well, it turns out there's a really practical 3-step method we can use to turn those chains into wings.
All right, step 1 is awareness. So simple, but so crucial. You can't change a habit you don't even notice you have. You've got to see the chain to break it. Step 2, substitution. This is key. You can't just get rid of a bad habit and leave a vacuum. You have to redirect that energy into a positive one. And finally, step 3 is persistence. You have to understand. You're going to slip up. It's going to happen. But every slip isn't a failure. It's just feedback. It's part of the process of carving that new groove. I absolutely love this quote from Gandhi. To me, it's the perfect mantra for that second step, substitution. It's this powerful, conscious choice. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind. You get to decide which thoughts are allowed to walk those paths and make those grooves. You're in charge. So what do some of these wing-building habits actually look like in real life? Well, they can be really simple things. Maybe it's just a few minutes of meditation every day to quiet the noise, or actively looking for things to be grateful for, which literally rewires your brain for happiness. You could even develop a kindness reflex so that being kind becomes your new automatic go-to response. But hang on, because this is where the whole idea gets even deeper. The ultimate goal isn't just to swap out our bad habits for good ones. Believe it or not, there's a whole other level to this journey, a flight towards real, genuine freedom. The great spiritual teacher Paramahansa Yogananda used this incredible metaphor. He said that bad habits, things like anger, fear, negativity, they're like chains of steel. They're heavy, they're ugly, they're destructive. And good habits, like discipline and kindness and meditation, they're like chains of gold. They're beautiful, they're valuable, but they're still chains. And that's the big twist. The ultimate goal isn't just to be bound by better, shinier habits. It's to use those good habits to reach a state of spontaneous freedom, where you do the right thing naturally, where goodness just flows from you, not because you're trying to, but because that's who you become.
Think of it like this. Your good habits are like the scaffolding you put up when you're constructing a building. It's absolutely essential. You need it to build a strong inner character. But what happens once the building is complete? Once it's strong and can stand on its own? Well, you take the scaffolding down. It's not needed anymore. The structure itself is now inherently strong.
So, what does this all lead to? According to these teachings, it all points toward one ultimate habit: to make your connection to the divine, to spirit, your absolute default setting. To have that awareness become the deepest, most well-worn, most automatic groove in your entire consciousness.
This sequence, right here, it just perfectly sums up the entire journey, doesn't it? It shows the unbelievable compounding power that starts from one single tiny thought. That thought leads to an action, you repeat the action, it becomes a habit, that habit forges your character, and your character, in the end, creates your destiny. And what is that destiny? It's not just about being a bit of a better person. It's to achieve a state of true, unshakable spiritual freedom. It's to have wings, not chains of any kind, not even gold ones.
So all of this leaves us with one last, very personal question. As you stand here today, looking at all the possible paths in front of you, all the potential grooves in your own mind, what is the one habit, the one single path that you will consciously choose to start walking today?